problem is 1/4 of the funds are already going to be reserved for students who already attend private schools. So it's really a voucher, semi-voucher program. So I'll get this, I'll email this to everybody. You can look at it. I can talk about it again on Monday. A resolution on the Ruiz bill for tenure reform, and a resolution for the Ruiz bill to modify it to allow school district hiring decisions to be made by the superintendent with the okay of the local board of education. So I'll get these out to you guys. I just got them yesterday and was not able to get them out to you, but I'll get them out to you and we can talk about them again on Monday.
Thank you, Mr. McDonough.
Mr. President,
yes.
I guess this past month we had a really huge, wonderful occurrence in the district of our football team and their progress to the South Jersey Championship. It brought a lot of positive press for the district, not only for the team in general, but for some of our students and our athletes in the participation. I understand that there may be some concerns or conflicts over whether the team is going to get jackets. Just to clear the record, I'd like to make a motion tonight to get the board's support to supply jackets to all members of the team, and I would also include the cheerleaders. The cheerleaders have been right along there with the football team after competitions, cheering them along. So I would like to make that a motion. I'm sorry?
And the marching band?
Well, no, separately.
They compete separately. The cheerleaders don't compete. So.
All right, I think that's a great idea, and I have a motion from Mr. Cope and a second from Mr. Nguyen. Roll call, Mr. Are there any questions on it? Roll call, Mr. Ober.
Mr. Kofoot?
Yes.
Mr. McDevitt?
Yes.
Dr. Maloney?
Yes.
Mr. Stargell?
Yes.
Mr. James Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Resolution passes unanimously.
And similarly with the marching band, our marching band this year took the Tournament of Bands East Coast Conference Championship. Again, didn't get near the publicity it deserves. Band never has gotten the publicity it deserves because kids work as hard as any athlete there is in competition. So likewise, just to clear the air so there's no controversy, I'd like to make a motion that band members likewise get jackets to recognize their championship.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the question. Roll call, Mr. O'Brien.
Mr. Kofoot?
Yes.
Mr. McDevitt?
Yes.
Dr. Maloney?
Yes.
Mr. Stargell?
Yes.
Mr. James Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Resolution passed unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll save the rest of my comments for the public hearing.
Thank you.
Speaking of, Mr. President, if I may, speaking of the athletic, the accomplishments of the athletic program, I have some concerns in regards to, I'd like to know how many of these kids are going to move on this year, and do they have, what's their recognition in terms of not going to a community college. I'd like to know a little bit about them venturing out into a 4-year program. Good to get the jackets, good to hip parade on Fridays and Saturday nights. But you know, and I know when I lived in life as being a coach, that sometimes once that last basket is scored and once that last snap in the huddle is done, some of them never get the opportunity to move on again or ever get out on the field again. So as here in Pennsauken, those are some pretty high accomplishments. I did follow the kids, but I want to see also where we go from here. How many of those kids are going to be going off into solid 4-year programs? So I'm very interested in that.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I've had a discussion with the principal at the high school, Mr. Vincent, about that very same matter. It does concern this staff, this leadership staff, that we not only support our young people when they achieve and are successful athletically, but we want to make sure that we provide them the resources and the guidance for their learning plan and their post-secondary education plans. So that what we're doing next is ensuring that there's a team of counselors meeting with those young men and members of the marching band to ensure that there's a plan upon graduation.
Right.
For those that are not graduating, that there's a plan to ensure that they graduate on time and that there is a post-secondary education plan.
Right.
Moving forward, it's not only for athletes, it's the expectation we have for all of our students.
Right. But we want, I like that we do build plans in place and have some type of formula and have these kids also commit to following that formula as well as they committed themselves out on the athletic field. And that's most important in terms of where we go from here. So I'm interested in how we're going to balance that formula to make sure that these kids have the opportunity. Now, whether or not they take advantage of it, that's another thing, but we should have the open up the door to offer them those opportunities.
Well, we also want to begin with the end in mind, high school, but we want to begin to scaffold that kind of individual learning plan in our elementary schools. They've already, principals, together with the administrative staff, we've begun the conversation addressing the very need to identify individual learning plans for our students beginning at an elementary level, scaffolding that plan into the intermediate, middle, and then the high school, so that there's a continuous learning plan that really addresses the needs of students, identifies strategies that will help them be successful, and upon graduation, they are ready for post-secondary education.
Because there's certain, there's a formula and there's criteria that has to be met in order to move them. And it's our job to make sure that that's offered and that opportunity is pushed out front.
Well, that certainly sets the expectation about high performance and our expectation for achievement for our students. We want them to be ready to make appropriate choices upon graduation that meets their individual needs. Right.
Furthermore, I'd like to probably get with the board president and see, we don't have, Pennsauken does not have any academic leverage, not leverage, but there's no GPA requirement other than the minimal NJSBALC. As long as you got 27 and a half credits per year, you can participate in athletics with a D- average. Well, that should be unacceptable here, and we should draw up some type of formula that if they participate, that there's going to be a certain academic requirement and commitment as well, and that we know that there's nothing that they can do leaving out with those type of credentials, knowing that we are going to set our standards high and demand that these things happen. As a preamble to that, I would like to get with the president sometime soon and discuss possibly setting those parameters in terms of making sure that these kids are able to move on before they can participate in athletics. Athletics should not be first. Student athlete is first, and I'm having serious concern about that here right now.
All right. Thank you for your comments, Mr. Stargo. And we'll make a point to do it. Let's look together and have a discussion.
Yes, Mayor. I want publicly, acknowledge the outstanding performance on the intermediate school students, faculty, and also the staff. They have a wonderful council, winter council last Tuesday. And I imagine if you walk in your room, you rent out space, and so there were about almost thousands, parents, community people out there. That's outstanding. And I also want to thank you, parent and community members, so strong interest in our, school activity. So I just want, share my.
Mr. Woodman, thank you. I really appreciate that. We were very pleased to have you here too. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Any other reports of committees? Okay, we're going to move on to old business.
President.
Yes.
One thing for old business. I thought at the last meeting that we had last month that we talked about putting this agenda on our website, and I did not see it. I was wondering if we're still considering that, or...
That is a work in progress.
Okay.
It is good. It is just that we're doing a lot of things with our website at this time, and if anybody's been on our website recently, you see there's many improvements. And it's a work, and we're working on that, and that will be completed as soon as possible.
Okay, good.
Okay. The superintendent, have anything you want to add to that?
Our expectation is that in January, we will have, our IT team is working diligently to make sure that we have a website that has capacity and that they're able to really do a fine job in presenting high quality in advertising and sharing the appropriate documents in a safe manner, secure manner, but certainly very in a transparent way to the public. So I suspect that in January we will have the process.
Just want to make sure we were still working on it, like, that whatever it takes, but...
They're working on it.
Yeah, okay, good, good.
Okay. Pass these out. This is printed out from an email that people might not have had a chance to see today. And I want to bring this up for discussion. We didn't have it as an agenda item, that's why I decided we would do this during old business. So we have advertised for a new lawyer or law service. And we did advertise that we would be making the decision possibly tonight, and possibly effective on Monday. I have put a lot of thought into this and reviewed the RFQs, and I'm going to make a case for one of them. I believe the firm that is the best for the Pennsauken School District is the firm of Frank Pieruli. And let me just express why I believe he is the best. Not only is he an accomplished lawyer, he also has an engineering degree, an accounting degree, he's a CPA, and a lawyer with vast government experience. Now, he's a small firm, so he is affiliated with Parker McKay, which is a large firm. So if there's anything that Mr. Pieruli would need help with, or if he had a question, he has the resources at Parker McKay at his disposal also. I strongly believe that he would best serve the interest of the Pennsauken Board of Education. Now, we are appointing him to a shorter term, and this will also be a trial. This will be effective through the end of our school year. And if for some reason we are not happy, we could always re-examine it. So I'm actually asking the board to make a motion to hire Frank Pieruli, Esquire, with Parker McKay as the backup. Hourly rate for Mr. Pieruli would be $140 an hour. And the hourly rate for Parker McKay as his backup would be $160 an hour. So, if there's any other board members?
I have a question, Denny. Where did we get the information of the hourly rate? Is that on the RFQ for Mr. Pierelli and wife and not included on the spreadsheet?
That's a good question.